Hello, everybody. My name is Adam Bergman, and welcome back or welcome to the show. In today's episode, I do want to talk about the Algorand blockchain. Algorand blockchain made up some much needed slack in CoinMarketCap. It is now currently on the 35th spot of the top 100. As the entire crypto market is going down, currently down around 1.8%, Algorand is actually up 2.5%, right around that 25 cent an algo. It's actually quite an interesting anomaly. Usually Algorand does quite the opposite of what the entire market does. I don't know why that happens, but it's interesting and I'm starting to notice that that's what's happening. A couple of good pieces of news that's coming up to Algorand is the National Bank of Australia is going to be using the Algorand blockchain for its new stablecoin mint, which I'll get into in just a moment. Next week, there's going to be a Twitter space announced by the CEO of Algorand Foundation, Stacey Warden, that she's hiring a brand new, much anticipated CMO, Chief Marketing Officer. Of course, this is coming on the heels that the Bank of Italy announced around a month ago that they will be the first European Union member bank on a national level that will be using blockchain technology. And the technology they're going to be using is the Algorand blockchain. They're going to be working with the Bank of Italy and the insurance agencies across Italy to settle up claims for the entire European Union. This is a really, really big deal. I'll get into that in just a moment. And as we know, Silvio Micali is Italian, so maybe that had something to do with it. Finally, you do have some other micro pieces of news. One huge micro piece of news actually is John Allen Wood. John Allen Wood is coming out with his Algo Kit, which is just going to make your life a lot easier as a developer to be able to develop on the Algorand blockchain. At the end of the day, as easy as it is to go from point A to point B, that's the best possible value you can give a developer. You see, a developer doesn't want to go on a blockchain where it's difficult to develop. For example, Cardano, very difficult to develop. Old technology, I'm not shitting on Cardano, but very difficult to develop. With the Algo Kit, there's going to be a lot of plug and play themes, a lot of templates, and just makes your life a lot easier. I'm not a coder myself, but from my understanding, it's going to be a lot of plug and play technology. You no longer need to waste your time. You can now utilize your time working on what matters most, the guts of the code. And then there's going to be plug and play templates. I don't know if you guys ever developed on Web 2. Unity software actually does that for Web 2 applications, where you only need to build the guts of an application, and all the backgrounds and things like that is provided for you for a small fee. Between everything that I just said with a couple of other pieces of news, this is why I believe Algorand is starting to make some gains on CoinMarketCap and taking back some of the spots that it has lost. And I, for one, am cheering like a mofo for the Algorand blockchain. In this article, it says the National Australia Bank becomes the second Australian bank to build a stablecoin. Now, the National Australian Bank is one of the top 4 banks in Australia. It's kind of a big deal. Think about if this was the United States, this would be the equivalent of maybe a Bank of America or maybe a Citibank. It is a large bank and it's a large institution with a lot of doors and roads that all lead to a lot of adoption, not only in Australia, but mass adoption throughout the entire globe. Anytime you have a large institution that uses your technology for something good, this probably is going to bring in a lot of eyes and ears to your specific project. And the more eyes and ears there are on your specific project, although the stablecoin project itself is not going to do much for the price of Algorand, hopefully this brings in more interoperability, more usage from large institutional investors and large institutional users of the Algorand blockchain. At the end of the day, we want the Algorand blockchain to be used by large corporations, and this is going to increase the demand of the Algo coin. Having a stable coin that's built on the Algorand blockchain, this is fantastic for the technology, the underlying footing and foundations of Algorand, but it's not going to do much for the actual price movement of the Algorand coin. It says the stablecoin will launch on the Ethereum and Algorand blockchain, and it's going to launch in the middle of 2023. The purpose of the AUDN would be to allow its customers to settle transactions on blockchain technology in real time using the Australian dollar. The AUDN, which is the name of the stablecoin, could also be used for several other purposes, including carbon credit tradings, oversee money transfers, and repurchase agreements. Guys, before we go any further, I do want to take just a moment to thank today's sponsor. The sponsor of today's video is Crypto for Change Apparel. There's a link to the store down below. It's an apparel store on an e-commerce platform like Etsy, soon to come to other e-commerce platforms. This is where you can get t-shirts and hoodies and sweaters and caps and mugs with your favorite cryptocurrency front line and center. More designs coming soon. Currently, there's a dozen products on the website. Click on the link down below to get your custom apparel right now. Thank you so much, Crypto for Change Apparel. That's what I want to see more, the repurchase agreement and the overseas money transfer. Why? This is how you can tie into major corporations actually utilizing and using not only the Algorand blockchain, but the Algorand coin as leverage to increase the demand and squeeze the price up. And this is an article that came out about a month ago. This is the Bank of Italy chooses Algorand for blockchain projects. You have the Bank of Italy. Now you have the National Banks of Australia. Again, the more institutions using Algorand's technology shows that there's a proof of concept that is now proof of action. And hopefully this leads to increased demand and usage from institutional clients that actually use the Algorand coin to transact for whatever business uses they need. The platform due to roll out early next year will be the first time a European Union nation uses blockchain technology for bank and insurance guarantees. And I quote, "It is expected that a significant percentage of bank and insurance guarantees will leverage digital ledger technology as part of Italy's National Recovery and Resilience Plan," the release said. The European Union allocated approximately 200 billion euros, that's around $212 million to Italy, the most to any country as part of its COVID-19 recovery plan. And I quote, "Blockchain is ideally suited to these types of programs given that the technology's ability to provide fast, efficient, low-cost, and scalable data transactions," the release said. Even more importantly, digital ledger technology helps to protect against fraud, a known challenge with bank and insurance guarantees. This is what I was talking about with the Bank of Australia and now the Bank of Italy and other banks that use Algorand's technology. So right now, the ordering of the Chivo wallet in El Salvador uses Algorand Rails, where you have wrapped Bitcoin, and the wrapped Bitcoin is being utilized by institutions and government alike in order to audit all the transactions of Bitcoin in El Salvador, because Bitcoin is very slow and it takes a very, very long time for the settlements. Now, this does not increase the price of Algorand. It does contribute to the overall transactions of Algorand, which is good, and it does increase the wallet of Algorand. However, it does not do much for the price of Algorand. But if we didn't have that, then we probably wouldn't have been working with the Bank of Italy, and we probably wouldn't have been working with one of the banks of Australia. Hopefully, by working with not only the Chavo wallet in El Salvador, the Bank of Australia, and the Bank of Italy, this is going to open up a lot of opportunities and doors to work with institutional clients. And institutional clients can now come up with some form of business where they're making monetary gains, where they're making a lot of money and a lot of profits. And in some way, shape, or form, this is going to intertwine with the Algo coin. Because at the end of the day, for the price of Algorand to go up, you need to squeeze the demand. You need to have more demand than there is quantity of Algorand out there. And by using it as a auditing technique or by using a stable coin, this does not really do much for the demand of Algorand. However, it is definitely a great step in the right direction. And I believe that this is going to be a great segue to get into a tweet from Stacey Warden. So Stacey Warden retweeted, this is actually a tweet from Algorand Foundation. It says, "After searching high and low, Stacey Warden will reveal the next CMO of Algorand Foundation next week. Join in on our Twitter Spaces next week for an exclusive meet and greet. This meet and greet is going to be January 24th at 4 o'clock Eastern. I will be filming this live on my channel. Please feel free to watch my channel and we'll cover it together." Now, of course, this is a very important step for me. I've been super critical about the marketing. I did reveal on my show that there's going to be a new chief marketing officer that actually started last week. I do know a few things that are behind the scenes, and hopefully this is going to propel Algorand forward, because one of the things that we are most certainly lacking is not the footings, not the foundation, and definitely not the technology, because those are absolutely amazing. We are lacking marketing. And I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to go too much into it. However, there is an additional tweet by Stacey Warden. 4 days ago, Stacey Warden tweeted Nike. So a lot of people were going at her hard that, hey, why are you just tweeting Nike? What is that all about? And then she said something about marketing. Obviously, if you connect the dots, the person that's going to be the new chief marketing officer either worked at Nike at some point in time, it's going to be on her resume, or had some marketing job or had some marketing consulting for huge companies. One of those companies would probably presumably be Nike. Hopefully the person that's going to be working on the marketing of Algorand is going to be working on Algorand marketing from the perspective of a blockchain and not just a perspective of traditional finance. I think maybe that's why there's a little bit of a disconnect between Stacey Warden, who obviously has a ridiculously great pedigree when it comes to traditional finance, but it just seems not to translate well so far to decentralized finance. I am super excited for many different reasons about this announcement, and to say I'm looking forward to the 24th of January would be a severe understatement. Now, this is from the GitHub. Everything is like open source, so you can read this. This is the algo kit from John Allen Woods, and shout out to John Allen Woods. He's absolutely one of the champions of Algorand in my personal eyes right now. I believe behind the scenes, he really is pushing for Algorand, and in front of the scenes, he's also pushing for Algorand, so shout out to John Allen Woods. The Algorand Algo Kit is a one-stop shop tool for developers building on the Algorand network. Algo Kit gets developers of all levels up and running with a familiar, fun, productive development environment in minutes. The goal of the Algo Kit is to help developers build and launch secure, automated, production-ready applications rapidly. Use cases: quickly run, explore, and interact with a local Algorand sandbox. Sandbox is where you can do in a closed captivity, where it doesn't affect anything, your testing of whatever you're making, okay? Building, testing, and deploying Algorand PyTeal smart contracts, and quickly deploy standardized, audited smart contracts, and building and deploying Algorand dApps. I think the Algorand kit, in turn with the new marketing officer, is going to be a huge deal. I have high hopes that this is going to be a huge deal in the future. We need to bring more developers onto Algorand, although we have a ton of development on Algorand. The easier it is to make somebody who builds on Web 2 applications to come on over to Algorand and build Web 3, the easier it is to bring somebody from an Ethereum or a Binance or a Solana to come on over to Algorand and build an Algorand. And the ability to actually market it and have a good public relations team, which is hopefully going to come with the new chief marketing officer, is a perfect recipe for Algorand to actually do very well in the next bull run. Guys, I am still super bullish when it comes to Algorand. I know I'm giving them a hard time, but at the end of the day, it's not that I'm giving them a hard time. I'm speaking my mind and I'm being true to you guys, my subscribers. I have high hopes for Algorand. I think in the next bull run, it is going to do very well, but there's a huge difference between doing very well and doing freaking amazing. And I want Algorand to be to a measure that I can't even get my hand up there. Guys, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Please don't forget to click on this video down below if you want some more content. I really appreciate you guys, and have a great day.